This episode of Grip Tips is brought to you by Lightbulb Grip. And if you'd like to help support this channel, check out my Patreon page. I'll leave a link in the description below. We're back. I'm Dave Donaldson. Welcome back to Grip Tips. Today we're talking about a package that I've had for a couple of months now. So for the past couple of months, I've actually had a package sitting next to my desk, and it's one that I've really badly have wanted to rip open. It's actually from Quasar Science. Today we're going to be looking at the Q25Xs. I contacted Quasar a few months ago about trying this out, and this is what they sent me. A couple of t-shirts, which I'm currently wearing, 3 of Matthew's My Way Grip, My Way plates that will support a single tube, a double tube, a quadruple tube, and then Quasar also sent me 4 of their Q25Xs. These tubes are 2 feet in length and they suck up just under half of an amp of power, which means all 4 of these combined should only suck up 2 amps at most. 2 amps of power with 4 tubes. In theory, and I want people to pay attention to the comment section of this video because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of electrics out there that are going to love to comment on what you should and what you should not do. So pay attention to that. But in theory, if my math is correct, that means on a 15 amp household breaker, you should be able to hook up 32 tubes on just 1 outlet. That's in theory. Am I saying you should hook up 32 tubes to 1 outlet? God, no, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is it's kind of nice to know that you could hook up 20 some odd tubes without an issue. I mean, that's pretty impressive. When I see or hear something like that, I usually think to myself, well, how bright can these actually be? So I hooked up the power connectors, which have a similar plug to an Airy Sky panel, and honestly, it reminds me a little bit of like a cam lock on some Banded, where you have to insert one end into another and then twist it so that they lock into place. Now on the tube side of things, they hook up with this kind of 3-pin connector, where 1 is coming from the plug itself and 2 are coming from the tube. Pretty much just line them up, press them on, and you're good to go. To take them off, these little buttons on the side of the connectors should be pressed and it will release the tubes from the connector pins. I had finally powered them up for the first time and these were, needless to say, bad ass as far as how bright they were. I was really impressed right off the bat once I had them burning, as they were impressively bright. The first thing that I played with was the color temperature. You can dial these tubes anywhere between 2000 and 6000 degrees Kelvin. 2000 for a more candle lit kind of feel, which is basically predominantly orange, and 6000, which is just above your standard daylight color temp. But on an overcast day, this is extremely useful when you're trying to match a color, as 6000 to 6500 is usually what a camera gets set to match an overcast cloudy day. To dial in your color temperature, they have placed a small number wheel on one side of the tube. There's also a very tiny little notch to show you what color temperature you're on, which makes it easier to match it up with the other tubes. Now this is helpful, but honestly I wish the notch was painted white so it stood out more, because with the lights in my face it was kind of hard to see with the naked eye, but it's not a life or death situation. I mean, if these were my personals, I'd probably just paint the notch white with my girlfriend's nail polish, but only because it smells good. Another thing I read on their website, which I'll have a link for below, is that these tubes are dimmable on most dimmers. So I broke up my 1K dimmer to see how it would react with it, and these tubes were able to dim down to about 10-20% depending what color balance I chose. Not bad, and I actually found a neat little effect when just trying to get the tubes on the cusp of shutting off. Almost kind of a wave effect, and I'm sure that's not intentional, but I thought that was kind of cool. Lastly, I feel the construction of these tubes are done really well. They don't even get hot. Like, I left the tubes burning for about 20 minutes and they were warm, but I was still able to grab them with my bare hands. Also, I feel like I could drop test this from a few stories high and nothing would happen, as I feel like the construction of it completely as a whole is very durable. Real quickly, I know I just said that, but if you guys remember, I also did that light socket load test. Oh. I would like to see a couple more tests like that. I would like to do a couple of more tests like that, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple of you out there that would love to see some more of those kind of things. So I'm leaving it up to you guys. What would you like to see me destroy as far as a durability test? It could be anything you want. It could be me dropping the Quasar tube off of a 4-story building. It's really up to your imagination. And maybe I can get a couple of companies on board with this. I don't really know how that's going to pan out. I'll probably end up paying for it myself. But at any rate, I would like to make a couple of videos like that to see exactly when do these actually kind of max out as far as how durable they are. But I'm leaving that up to you guys. Comment below. Back to the tubes, we also have these shock absorbing boots which help protect the tube further. Overall, I gotta say I'm really impressed with this light, from color temp to electrical load, barely any heat to construction, and I think once I get the funds together, I'll totally be buying a kit, and when I do, I might even light the show with them. Absolutely love them. totally aroused. Lightbulb Grip is a lighting rental house based out of Brooklyn, New York, and they're dedicated to the education and safety on all film sets. If you have any questions about rigging, on-set safety, or even gear that you've seen in today's episode, you can contact them by heading over to their website at www.lightbulbgrip.com. But sadly, that is all that I have for you guys today. I want to thank Quasar Science so much for sending me this demo unit. I'm sorry that I've had it for such a long time, but I appreciate that you guys were willing to just kind of work with me, and you guys did tell me take as much time as I needed, but I'm gonna make sure that I get this back to you. I really enjoyed this. I will be ordering some soon, but that is all that I have for you guys today. If you like today's episode, please let me know in the comment section below. You can also follow me on my Twitter right here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, support me on Patreon, and we'll see you next time right here on Grip Tips. Now back to the Quasar tubes. They've also made these shock absorbing boobs. Shock absorbing boobs. Oh my God, that's awesome. Shock absorbing boobs. Now back to the tubes, we have shock absorbing boobs. The sad part is my roommate's not even here. I'm laughing at myself. Shock absorbing boots. Next, back to the tubes, we have shock absorbing boots that they've, and I got it that time, damn it! Now back to, I don't even remember what the damn line is. Back to the tubes, they've also made these shock absorbing boots to help protect the tube further.